Hello, today I'd like to talk to you about this prop gun I inherited from my father. He got it from a gun collector who said it might have been used in the movies in the 1930s and 1940s, the Old West movies. It is modeled after an 1873 Colt 45 caliber 6-round single action. It's made of cast metal. If you pull the hammer back and pull the trigger, the cylinder will move. However, here's a shot of the end of the barrel looking down inside. You can see the barrel is plugged. So this replica is a non-bullet firing prop gun. It will not shoot bullets. Now some of these replica guns will shoot caps. You can buy caps for them or put a cap in an empty cartridge, replace the primer, and it'll shoot caps. But you will not have any muzzle flash or smoke coming out of the barrel. So that means if guns like this are used in movies or were ever used in movies, they would have been used by background scene actors, kept in the holster, or just held in the hand and never fired, because it would be so unrealistic to hear a cap go off with no muzzle flash or smoke. In movies, most of the time actors that shoot guns are shooting real guns. They are real guns from different manufacturers, and they use blanks with varying strengths of powder charge with them. If you'll notice too, this gun has no markings on it anywhere. I even took the grips off. There's no markings underneath the grips. So I was totally baffled who made this gun and where it came from. So I started doing some searching on the internet. I found similar guns to mine. This one, by the way, if you'll notice these grooves in the back of the cylinder here on these prop guns, those were not on the original Colts. This one has been stamped BKA, and I had no idea what that meant. BKA 98. So I had to do some more checking and research. I found another example on the internet. Here's one with the original box. You can see Colt Peacemaker 45 caliber. And on the side of the box, I noted this emblem here. Well, I found out that is the emblem of the maker of these replica guns. They are made by a company called Denix in Spain. They have been in existence since 1966. Now here's their homepage, a screenshot with part of the catalog drop down. They've been making replica guns since 1966. They make them from all periods of time. Here's a nice flintlock over here you can see. And they're really cool. They're non-bullet firing guns. They're used for display, for training, for acting, and that kind of thing. They're really cool. Some of them are very ornate. And lo and behold, in their current catalog, there it is, the 1873 Colt 45 caliber revolver, like mine. They're still making it. Model 1186/G. But I was still curious because mine didn't have any markings on it. Here's one from their current catalog. It's got a longer barrel, but the newer ones, you'll notice, in the mold for casting, they put Denix made in Spain, so you know where it came from. So, I took pictures of my prop gun and I emailed them. And their customer service wrote me back. Now this is cut and paste, it's not the whole email. But they told me, yes, my prop gun was made by them from 1966 to about 1975. All of their replica guns they made had no markings on them. They just made them and shipped them out. In the mid-1970s, the German government, in order for them to be imported into Germany, required this BKA stamp put on it. And it stands for the German Federal Police Department or something like that. And here it is, the name right there. Bundeskriminalamt. Sorry, I can't say that right. But the German government required Denix to stamp this on their gun to prove that they were a non-bullet firing gun and they could be imported for a number of years. And then that was dropped, and now, like the previous picture shows, they just put Denix on him. So that tells me that my gun was made sometime between 1966 and about 1975 roughly. Now here is a screenshot of the actual BKA government website. And you can go on there and look around if you want. That controls firearms in Germany and has regulations for them and studies crime statistics and all that stuff. However, I found out when I was looking on the internet that there was, for a time, an importation company that also used the letters BKA. And this is from the Gun Codes Manual. And if you see, it says Bauska Arms, CK BKA, manufactured in Czechoslovakia, imported into the United States. Now, as far as I could find, this company was active maybe 1960s, 70s, 80s in there. And I think they are from, or were from, Montana. Here's an actual gun, a Czechoslovakian gun that was imported by Bauska, if I'm pronouncing that right. And at the top of the barrel, you'll see Bauska from Kalispell, Montana. I can't quite read that right. Sorry about that. But there it is. This is an actual firearm that was imported for a period of time using BKA, but they have absolutely nothing to do with Denix, absolutely nothing to do with the BKA symbol that was stamped for a period of years on the Denix replica guns. Now, back in the late 1960s and 1970s, Fox Studios and MGM Studios held auctions, and they sold off a lot of their props, and so did some of the prop rental companies. They sold a lot of that stuff, and some of them probably were replica guns that they sold. Here's some of the old catalogs from the studio auctions back in the day. So it's possible some of these Denix guns were in these auctions, but they weren't that old. They had to only go back to 1966. Now, once in a while, you will see actual movie used guns come up for sale, and they sell for big bucks. A gun that has been documented to be used by a star in a specific movie, and you can go to that scene and see it. And when they come up on auction, they sell for big bucks. Collectors really like them. Now here's a gun I found on Amazon recently. The seller wanted $700 for it. The story was this had been authenticated by a third party as having been used by John Ford and John Wayne in one of his movies back in the 1930s. Now on this gun is a wire with a lead seal and then a tag. Now that tag on the other side, it says property of MGM Studios. Now MGM Studios did use these kind of tags on their props to show who owned them, and some of the prop rental companies would actually etch on part of the gun a number or their name of their studio on it. Fox Studios even sometimes would put Fox Studio etch on their guns to show that the gun belonged to them. Well, this particular gun here, that might be an original tag. I don't know, it might be a fake tag, but I can guarantee you this gun was never used in a John Wayne, John Ford movie in the 1930s, because it didn't even exist until at least 1966. So this gun is no longer on Amazon. It has been taken down because it was a fraud and a fake. If you're a collector of antique guns or props and stuff, just be sure you know what you're getting. Make sure it has good documentation, either written documentation or maybe etched on the gun. But if you see one of these guns or a Denix gun that has no markings on it, or it has the BKA on it, you'll now know that they started in 1966. And by the way, these numbers at the bottom of the BKA, some of them are 98, some of them are 100 and something or 200 and something. I really don't know what that means. It must have been some kind of a rule at the time to designate that particular model and that particular year was allowed into Germany. I'm not sure what the numbers underneath the BKA mean, but it really doesn't matter so much that now you know that where these guns came from and when they are made. So, thanks for watching.